Newsfirst at 9.
A very good evening to you and welcome to the News at 9 live from the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Minoshi Ratnasekara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines first.
Headlines on Newsfirst at 9.
Train accident in Vaduruwa kills 1, 3 injured. Baduralia Hospital reopens after 6-day lockdown. MP Thevara Peruma halts hunger strike. Customs seizes a 16,000-litre consignment of ethanol. Indicators that Sri Lanka will receive the highest quota of jobs for foreign nationals in South Korea next year. Rice prices increase above price controls.
Newsfirst at 9.
And now, following a 6-day lockdown, doctors at the Baduralia Hospital returned to work today, following an agreement reached during a discussion held at the Ministry of Health yesterday.
Now, the hunger strike that was commenced by a group including parliamentarian Palita Thevara Peruma calling for the reopening of the hospital also came to a halt today.
After abandoning the hunger strike, MP Palita Thevara Peruma arrived this morning and said he wished to enter the premises of the Baduralia Hospital. Police officers obstructed the MP from entering the hospital in the Dulwalla area and attempted to take him to the Nagoda Hospital instead. However, he voiced his protest near Mihindu Vidyalaya in Agalawatta and demanded that he be allowed to proceed to the Baduralia Hospital. Subsequently, the group accompanying the MP attempted to take him to the Baduralia Hospital in another vehicle. The police obstructed the MP once again in Latpandura. However, the police eventually had to allow MP Thevara Peruma to proceed to the Baduralia Hospital. The MP, who was transferred to the Nagoda Hospital after preliminary treatment, was discharged this afternoon. I wanted to be treated at the hospital. I was deprived of this right. In the Nagoda hospital, they placed me in ward number 9. In ward number 9, there were 3 or 4 patients to a bed. I listened to the treatment prescribed for me and then came here. Sacrifices were made in this case and the people gave me the strength, security and endurance. Karu Jayasuriya, our leader, must definitely apologize to the people of Palindanuara for the statement he made. If not, I will resign from my position as organizer. It does not matter if he does something and attempts to evade this. He must apologize to the people. I will not join any other party if I resign. National Freedom Front Central Committee member Priyantha Bellana, who joined MP Palita Thevara Peruma in the hunger strike, expressed these views to the media today. A decision was reached yesterday. MP Palita Thevara Peruma asked where we should go. When we asked the police, they asked us to go to Bulat Singhala. So we went to Bulat Singhala. We said that we would drink water after the promise that the hospital would be opened at 8 o'clock in the morning is upheld. The Baduralia Hospital had been closed since the 18th of this month following an incident where a group of persons who had arrived with a patient allegedly levelled death threats against the doctors and staff. At discussions held yesterday under the auspices of the Deputy Minister of Health, the Government Medical Officers Association, or GMOA, agreed to report for duty 4 hours after the group staged in the hunger strike had dispersed. The persons who levelled the threat had been called there. In front of the entire gathering, they begged forgiveness from the GMOA. Thereby, we did not falter. Since they took 1 step forward, we took 2 steps forward and reached a decision. This was a special location. The medical officer in charge who served here before this had been murdered. Given that incident, we could not stand by and watch. This is a country where abnormal things happen. Teachers have been made to kneel at school. Given the situation, when a death threat was levelled here, we could not just disregard it. When a large group gathers at a single location, we have an issue with security there. We do not have any problem with an individual staging a hunger strike.
මරණ තර්ජනය කරා කියන පුද්ගලයා සම්බන්ධව පොලිසිය පැමිණිල්ලක් නැහැ කියන එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
2 doctors have been murdered in the island at present, in 2 locations. In such a backdrop, we cannot belittle a death threat.
මරණීය තර්ජනයක් අපිට සුළු කොට සලකන්නට පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
දැන් මෙතුමාට විරුද්ධ ඇයි මේ පුද්ගලයාට පොලිසිය පැමිණිල්ලක් මුකුත් නැත්තේ වෛද්‍යතුමනි?
Yes, in truth, the doctors there left instantly considering their safety and did not consider lodging a complaint.
පැමිණිල්ලක් දාන්නේ අය මේ යොමු වෙලා නැහැ.
Following the closure of the Baduralia hospital on Saturday, this location had the appearance of an abandoned building. But today, following the reopening of the hospital, we can see how a large number of people have come here to receive treatment.
මේ මග නැවතුණයි ඇවිල්ලා දැන් මේ ඇවිල්ලා මෙහෙත් අරගත්තා.
පාලිත මහත්තයාට ඉතින් බොහොම ස්තුති වෙනවා එහෙම දෙයක් අපේ ගමට මෙහෙම දෙයක් උදව් කරාටත්.
Meanwhile, the Government Nursing Officers Association issuing a communique today said that no individual or authority has the right to close down a hospital. The association adds that action must be taken against in such cases, keeping in mind the fact that health service is a public service.
Moving on to other local news, customs officials discovered another stock of ethanol, this time about 16,000 litres, that had been brought to Sri Lanka using falsified information. Superintendent of the Customs Revenue Task Force, Parakrama Basnayaka, said that if the stock of ethanol had been cleared, the state would have been deprived of over 10 million rupees in tax revenue.
A container which was among a consignment that had been brought from the Klang port in Malaysia was taken into the custody of Sri Lanka Customs on the 24th of this month. The contents of the container had been listed as plywood and had been imported by a private company based in Borella. Customs officials who inspected the 80-foot long container had discovered 80 barrels of ethanol. Customs authorities have detained a director of the company that imported the goods on charges of providing false information and importing ethanol.
When we look at this matter as a nation, it is a cause for disappointment. On the other hand, as Sri Lanka Customs, this is something we can be happy about. Tax fraud taking place in the country on a large scale, and our customs officials have been able to bring perpetrators to justice. They have declared the contents to be MDF boards and paid duties amounting to 200,000 rupees. However, they should have paid over 10 million rupees for the goods that they have imported without a license.
In the recent past, Sri Lanka Customs has succeeded in seizing 8 containers of ethanol that were brought to this country using falsified information.
There is permission. It must be brought with a license. This is not an item that has been prohibited by the government. You need to have a license and pay taxes to import it. Several occasions where ethanol has been smuggled into the country under the guise of importing other goods. Excise Department seizes a container of ethanol smuggled in under the guise of importing turpentine from Vietnam. Suspect who smuggled in 65,000 litres of ethanol under the guise of importing turpentine imprisoned. 74,000 litres of ethanol smuggled in under the guise of importing tar. Today, stock of ethanol smuggled in from Malaysia under the guise of importing plywood. Government loses out on millions of rupees in tax revenue due to illegal importation of ethanol. Why are such incidents taking place unbated? For whom it may concern.
Staying in local news, a Janasuya public welfare program was held in Kahadamodara, Tangol today under the auspices of UNP parliamentarian Sajit Premadasa.
150 Janasuya children's savings account books were distributed among children of Nidahas Gama in Kahadamodara during the event.
කුඩුකාරයෝ ඉන්නවලු කුඩු බෙදන්නන් ඉන්නවලු හැබැයි රජයටවත් නීතිවලටවත් මේක.
The Prime Minister says that there are junkies and drug smugglers and that it is difficult for the government or the law to manage them. The very next day he says that separate laws must be introduced for those in robes. What is the Prime Minister's office, which comes under the purview of the Prime Minister, doing today? They are issuing letters requesting for concessions for containers of narcotics.
Container වලට සහන ලබා දෙන්නට ලිපි නිකුත් කිරීම. කුඩු කාර්යොන්ට සහන නීතිය. මහා සංඝරත්නයට දණ්ඩ නීතිය.
We can see the wand of drugs in every corner of the country. Drug addicts are increasing at an alarming rate.
කුඩු කාර්යෝ තරඟට පැටව ගහනවා.
Now, welcome back to the news at 9. Now, moving on to our continuing coverage of the crisis surrounding local council budgets. The 2014 budget of the Bentota Pradeshya Sabha, which was defeated in the first round of voting, was passed today during the second round vote.
Once again, the deputy chairman of the Bentota Pradeshya Sabha voted against the budget.
The second round of voting for the 2014 budget of the UPFA-governed Bentota Pradeshya Sabha took place today, and 6 members voted in favour of the budget, while 3 members voted against it. A ruling party member as well as an opposition member abstained from voting. JVP member of the Pradeshya Sabha, Pubudu Kottahachi, arrived at the chambers after the vote had concluded.
When I got into the bus, an individual threatened me and said that I would be taken up to Payagala. However, he let me go down in Maggona. I think those who wanted to ensure the budget was passed might have wanted to delay the JVP from attending. Last evening I got to know that the JVP member will not be present for the vote. I was aware of that fact. I am not aware of the plan. Someone might have cooked up this plan.
Former chairman of the Alawa Pradeshya Sabha, MM Sandhya Kumara Muhandiram, who lost his position after the 2014 budget was defeated twice, arrived at the Pradeshya Sabha today and acted in the capacity of chairman.
The budget was passed. There is no issue in it. I cannot even go in the road today. Everyone is asking what happened. I took my seat here today for the people. I abide by the policies of the party. 3 or 4 persons have banded together to cast the public mandate aside and to restrict leaders to their homes. The secretary of the Pradeshya Sabha has issued a letter calling on him to vacate the office of the chairman, but he did not do so. We even went to the police with this letter. I am the legal acting chairman of the Pradeshya Sabha. We cannot let him degrade the position of the chairman. He has no legal right to that seat.
Moving on to other local news, the president of the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society, Venerable Banagula Upatissatthera, participated in the swearing-in ceremony of the Chief Minister of India's Madhya Pradesh state recently.
The swearing-in ceremony was held in the city of Bhopal.
Shivraj Singh Chauhan of India's Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP was elected to the position of Chief Minister at the recent State Assembly elections for the 3rd time. Several senior leaders of the BJP attended the swearing-in ceremony where Chauhan took oaths before the governor of Madhya Pradesh. Venerable Banagala Upatissatthera, who participated as a special guest at the event, met with the new Chief Minister and the BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate Narendra Modi and invoked blessings on them. The Sanchi Buddhist University, a project in which Venerable Banagala Upatissatthera is also involved, is currently under construction in Madhya Pradesh. The Chief Minister of the state has pledged his fullest support for this project.
Taking a look at one of our headline stories, South Korea's ambassador to Sri Lanka, Jong Moon Choi, says that he believes Sri Lanka will be given the highest number from the quota of foreign employment opportunities among Southeast Asian countries when a decision is made on the number of seats that will be allocated for 2014.
Yes, Nadim, and he expressed these views in an exclusive interview with Newsfirst.
We invite the foreign guest workers from 15 countries, including Sri Lanka and Pakistan, Bangladesh and Southeast Asian countries. And we give a quota. We give quota to each and every 15 countries. And the important thing is that per capita wise, the Sri Lanka has the lion's share. Sri Lanka is the literally #1 in terms of the size of the quota. So for the next year, we haven't decided yet. the January we will make the decision on how many seats will be given to each and every 15 countries. But again, I'm quite sure that Sri Lanka will be given the highest number of the quota.